like everything else, just like with Martha and Debbie. The first time you meet them, you hear a few things. And then over time, you hear more and more. And it's just so astounding. All the things that he's done is absolutely incredible. Right now, there's a kid recovering from heart surgery at Children's Hospital. And I know that relationship with me a lot in time. And there's nothing like the guilt trip of the Jesuits, the Sisters of Charity, to make sure that the impoverished are taken care of. Just pulling out all the stuff. What sort of goal has anybody set? One of the things that I always worry about is people go to Ethiopia to get themselves a bunch of photographs for a coffee table. They have a great conversation piece about how they slummed it in Africa for 2 weeks or 4 weeks. And a while ago, an incredible goal was set from this university to supply the nursing school in Hosanna, which substantially changed that school. Fair?
Yes.
Substantially. So what goal have you guys set to accomplish, give back, whatever the right word is, for the privilege of having such a great trip? And I know there was talk about school.
Yeah, I actually had the opportunity this time around to have more conversation with Martin and President Mercy than ever before because they were present so much of the time. And to actually talk about a number of different project ideas for the coming years that we as a university can really take ownership of and sink our teeth into. And it's actually on the calendar to start one of these conversations next week with folks. But there's a local school that they would like to renovate, partner with and renovate. And here's the issue. So they have 1,200 kids in their school, which is a remarkable school for rural Ethiopia. They can take 225 kids in each first grade class or kindergarten class. They have 1,000 plus show up the door to get into that class. So they have to turn a lot of kids away. A majority of those hopefully end up in the public school, which is the school I'm talking about, the school Martin and Denny are talking about, which is an Adobe school, a dilapidated school on the side of the road about a mile or two down from them. They think $10,000 could do a total renovation of that school so kids can go to school and have a decent learning environment. And maybe even look at expanding some of the staff to allow more kids in. So that's the project that resonated, the goal that I would like to set. But of course, we need to have those conversations amongst universities to get people on board and come to some consensus.
What is really phenomenal.
What I do know is it's a realistic fundraising goal, given what students have done in the last few years. Students on their own have gone out to their own networks. And this year, for example, there was 67,000 just from students that were out raising money for Project Mercy on the side as part of this program that they've since then donated to different efforts of Project Mercy. So I think if we really set a goal and collectively decide this is what we're going to do, that I have no doubt in my mind we can achieve.
For what it's worth, 100 people, $100, dinner and strings, real underwriter, it's 10 grand. Okay. What's really phenomenal about this opportunity is that school and Project Mercy were really in huge conflict because that was the government school and this posh thing up the street was a pain in the butt to them and a scourge to show them. The fact that this conversation is going on and it's okay to improve the local school, this kind of a shame to the government is phenomenal. And I think it will be a phenomenal opportunity for Regis to have that school with just a little Regis plaque on the door that you guys made possible.
And the last dinner at Strings was a great success.
Yeah, it covered the.
It sure did.
I mean, it didn't quite cover the container, but it really helped.
That was the big chunk.
But I'm more intrigued by the idea of this ownership thing. So you guys have this school, then elements of your teachers here, the teaching part of the school will go, and just because you have a plaque on the door, swallow. Then you have a vested interest in making that school, wanting that school to succeed and being part of it. And the last thing two more I'd like to share with you is, how much does it cost for a fistula operation?
For the patients?
Yeah.
It costs them nothing. The fistula hospital pays for the patients they have. So the fistula hospital gets fundraising from different people in the community and around the world, and then provides free care.
To perform the operation. Like if somebody was to underwrite an operation, how much would it be?
They said that Oprah ran the whole facility for a year. I'm trying to remember that number.
I don't remember what the cost is for.
500,000, she ran it for the whole year.
All right, here's the number I was given was $300.
Okay.
So it might be interesting to have a little barbecue with someone raise $300 and sponsor one of those kids individually. And there's a lady called Miggs who is really committed to creating a fistula clinic in a rural area so that there's something to happen there before you actually get to that. So if anybody wants to know the information on that. And then the last thing I'd love to share with you is down the road it might be interesting to have as part of this trip a possibility, all right, I'm using the words very carefully, of a blood drive. You know, that you can give a pint of blood, the needles are safe. And we did it on one time. There was a young kid outside the hospital, and his mom needed a pint of blood, and she wasn't going to make it if she didn't get it, so my wife did. And so all our group decided to donate a pint of blood. But I went to give my pint of blood. They wouldn't take it because I was too old. And the life expectancy was 50 or something like that. And because I was over 50, they wouldn't take it. It was a great lesson in humility about it. The only time I ever wanted to give a pint of blood in my life. And I quit smoking and I figured the blood was clean and if you worth something, you wouldn't take it. Anyway, thank you for that, Shannon. I appreciate my concert.
Do you know, Noel, there's two things I would mention to you. We do have a lot of pharmacy people here today. And so moving forward with expanding to the pharmacy students, I think is exciting. We also have the director of the Regis College Education here. And so thinking in terms of involving students from the education program, I think that we will really as far as programs.
It's just phenomenal what you guys have done over.
It's taken, you know, it's taken a while to build relationships, but that's happened. Thanks to people like Cheryl and Jeremy.
It also takes the support of our administrators too. And so acknowledging the value of this program.
I just wanted to remind everybody that the PT class gift of last year went for the Tom Pointer Library. It was around $1,500, and that substantially helped us with building that library.
The other thing is the class that just graduated donated some of their class funds to International Immersion so that they continue on. So they recognize the importance of these things as a whole class.
Right.
So it was great.
That class
So
2 years ago.
I can't help but make this plug. If you all know of anybody in the community that would like to fund this program, that would be one thing we'd love to not deal with for a while. So think about that and let me know. That's always one of the issues, but luckily fundraising has been very effective. We've been able to bring down the program costs considerably, and it's made it, I wouldn't say affordable, but reachable for students who might not otherwise participate. So it's 1 o'clock, and I want to respect your time. Again, thank you so much for coming. If you have additional questions or follow-up, I'm happy to provide you with their emails. I'm sure they're happy to engage with you. Or if it can be handled by Cheryl or I or anybody who knows the program, we'd be happy to have those conversations with you all. So,
and we'll be floating around for a little bit, so if you don't have to run out and you have other questions, feel free to grab us and ask us about it.
Thank you to you guys.